Hi all, welcome to the 15th edition of Professor Visa and Education Services News Update. My name is Nish. I'm the Director of Professor Visa and Education Services and also Registered Migration Agent in Australia. Today I'm going to talk about Professional Year Program. Now, a lot of you have obviously heard about Professional Year Program. I'm pretty sure, students who have just graduated or applied for TR, 485 visa, post-study work, they've already started doing the research in terms of their Professor Year Program in Australia. What are the things you should be informed about making a decision in terms of where you would like to study your Professor Year Program? Now, before I even talk about the choice of education provider out there in the market and some comparative rate that a lot of education agents are providing, well, obviously, yes, the pricing is the big point. As international students, you just finish the immense amount of tuition fee studying and completing your bachelor's or master's degree in Australia. Now, this is the time you wanted to save some money as well, and at the same time you want to do your professional year to get that extra 5 points for your immigration purpose. But before we talk about what is professional year and how is that going to benefit to you in terms of your permanent residency or general skill migration mainly, I'm going to talk about what is professional year in overall. Okay. Now, professional year is a structured professional development program which combines your formal learning and your workplace experience, mainly for international students who have just graduated from university or colleges in Australia. Now, what it does basically is your formal learning is more about the academic side, where you have actually learned the foundation, the core subject of your area of interest. Now, professional year is to combine that formal study into the practical side, more like a training side. It's more like the real world situation. Like, say for example, if you're an accountant, doing the professional year, it gives you exposure to the side of the practical side of the employment. So if you actually if you just graduated, now you wanted to work in the industry for that particular example, accounting, it tells you what the accounting world looks like in Australia, like in a real firm, like, when you go outside, so you get familiarized with the day-to-day operation of the accounting side. So that's the whole Professor Year program. So it gives you the side, the practical side, the learning where you can get from the workplace experience, and that's what the Professor Year is. Now, what are the advantage of the Professor Year? That's obviously the big question. Now, apart from that extra 5 points that you receive for your general skill migration, there are heaps of other benefit for doing Professor Year program. Now, the benefit number one is, as I said, you get exposure to the practical world. How is the real world operated in the market? That's what you get. That's what you get to experience when you do your professional year. Not only that, if you have done your expression of interest for general skill migration, that additional 5 points goes a long way. So if you're doing regional, if you're doing state sponsor, if you're doing independent, doesn't matter, it contributes that extra 5 points. So if you're traveling on 65, it will make you 70. If you're traveling on 60, it will make you 65. So it has that extra points benefit, and which is why it's very popular. The professional year is very popular. Okay. So the other thing is, if sometimes with the professional year program provider, what they do is they also combine IELTS, which is the English language testing system. They also combine that classes together with the professional year. So basically, not just the extra 5 points, but you also get to get that tack-on product, which is obviously they teach you English as well. So you need to look for those kind of education provider who tack on the English as a part of their professional year program as well, because then you're hitting two birds with one stone. So if you're trying to get extra 5 points from professional year, but then at the same time you're also trying for your English, PTE or IELTS, it also gives you that opportunity to score that additional points for English. Okay. Now, the other benefit of Professor Year program is that it's a kickstart of your career. So if you just finished study and you haven't started working in your field yet, but that internship program that is associated, that is incorporated with the Professor Year program, will give you a kickstart in your career. So you get to feel the industry, whether you're going to like it. It gives you exposure to that side of the industry where you have never experienced before. So it gives you a kickstart. Okay. So the other thing is, if you haven't done your MYOB, like I'm mainly talking about accountant here. So if you haven't done MYOB or SAP or those kind of common application in accounting firm, so Professor Year program also gives you introduction to the applications like MYOB, SAP, and all of that kind of applications. So that's very important that you go into those Professor Year program, you finish the internship program, so you get to see the end-to-end process of your nominated occupation. The other thing is, it also teaches you it also enables you to access the information from the other students. So obviously when you go in a Professor Year program classes, you meet similar kind of people, like who is trying to get that extra 5 points, who would like to get exposure into the real world in terms of their occupation. So you get to share your points, you get to build your network. So that's a very good point if you wanted to build your network to the similar kind of people, like who is looking for accounting job. So with that sort of shared network, you'll be able to enhance your skill, and also you'll be able to create or invent something, or you learn something that you never heard of before, like in that network. So that network is very crucial as well. At the same time, wherever you do internship program with the Professor Year, there is a good opportunity that they might like you and they might keep you there for a full-time position. So that's another opportunity as well. So when you go there as an intern, you're working as a voluntarily, but when you get exposure to the world and you pick up all their day-to-day business and you start working in the field, employer might like you, and then next thing is they might offer you a position there. So look, don't constrain yourself not doing this course. This is a very valuable course, because obviously if you're just a graduate and you're on a TR visa, 2 years is a ticking time bomb in terms of if you really wanted to migrate in Australia. These are the years that you have to really leverage your skills. So I strongly recommend that you enroll yourself for Professor Year, so that you get exposure, and then also there's other opportunity that I just mentioned before, you get exposed to that. Now look, there's a lot of education providers out in the market, Performance Education, ECA, WLI, QIBA, Navitas. I mean look, there are a lot of education providers. Now as a student, as a graduate, what I would strongly recommend is, I'm not going to sit here and criticize, or I'm not going to say like this education provider is better than the others. Look, this is up to the student to do research, and if you're not familiar with how the education, how this whole workplace experience is provided in this education provider, come and talk to us. This is where you need expert advice in terms of selecting the education provider, full stop. So some education providers are relatively cheap in terms of monetary, like tuition fees and stuff like that, but some education providers are really, really expensive. But when we say expensive, sometimes you get what you pay for. So if you go into the good education provider, obviously there's the cost associated with that, but what you get out of that is a real internship, real placement, where you go in a bigger firm like Toshiba, Samsung. These are the industry that you get exposed with. So with that little bit of money, you will go a long way. But having said that, source out your situation. If your situation, you can only afford certain amount, obviously cheaper option is the way to go. But if you out there and you just graduated in the program and you wanted to do well in the nominated field, then I would strongly suggest that you do your research, and if you have any difficulties selecting those education providers, come see us and we'll help you choose the right education provider for you. Okay. Now I'm not going to talk about too much in terms of education providers. There's too many out in the market, but those are the names that I just said. They're the popular one amongst international students. So come see us and we'll guide you through. Now in terms of checklist, what do you need to apply for the Professor Year program? Obviously you need a valid passport. Then we need to see your test results, your IELTS or PT results, And next thing is we need the completion letter from your education provider to say that you have actually completed your course. Second thing is a transcript. Obviously we need your education transcript, qualification transcript. The other thing is that we need the proof that you have actually applied for 457 visa, or you have already got the 457 visa. So the visa grant paper or just the bridging visa to say that you have applied for TR, that's enough for you to enroll in Professor Year program. On top of that, they also need your skill assessment receipt. So as long as you have actually lodged a skill assessment, all we need is the evidence to show that you have actually lodged the application for skill assessment, and that is enough for you to apply for Professor Year program. So the checklist is fairly simple. So if you have done all of that, or if you're just waiting for your skill assessment, I mean, you know, you can obviously come and see us and we'll guide you through, but those are the checklists that I just went through. And obviously by the time you get your skill assessment, there are other ways to leverage that time as well. So for that, you can come and see us and we'll give you advice how to leverage that timing. But apart from that, this is it. I mean, look, Professor Year program is the quickest way to get extra 5 points. If you can spend a little bit of money, get exposure to the real world, and at the same time you can score 5 points, that's a win-win situation. So look, you know, as a graduate, while the accounting, engineering or IT is still in the list, I would strongly recommend that you do the Professor Year. And once again, the Professor Year is mainly for accounting students, IT students and engineering students. So those three occupations, those three skill occupation list, if your any occupations is under that sort of topic like accounting, engineering or computer, you are eligible to do Professor Year program. Now depending upon what course you've done, obviously accounting is different pricing to IT and IT is different pricing to engineering, so and vice versa, okay? So the pricing are a bit different. If you wanted to know comparative rate in the market, if you wanted to get yourself the best deal, obviously, you know, we'll help you on that one too. But your process doesn't finish with just getting a good Professor Year program. Your process will finish when that extra 5 points will help you migrate to Australia. So that's what you wanted to achieve, okay? Hopefully this video helped you out a little bit in terms of selecting your Professor Year program and why you do Professor Year program. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to come and see us. This is it for today. I'll come back next week with more updates in different topics. Until then, if you have any questions, we are located at Suite 4, level 9, 99 York Street, or you can contact us on our phone 9007 4409, that's our landline, or you can chat to us in Facebook, so that's Professional Visa and Education Services. From Facebook you can send us the message, or you can email it to us, which is info@provisa.com.au, or visit our website, which is www.provisa.com.au. Until next week, I see you later. Bye bye.